Welcome to the Stoic Manhood Guide. You want to know the real reason you're still stuck on her. It's not because she was, in quotes, the one. It's because you made her the center of your universe, and now that she's gone, you feel like there's nothing left. That sounds harsh, but here is the truth you need to hear. If you can't walk away from what you love, you don't own it. It owns you. You hand over the keys to your emotional state to someone else, and then wonder why you feel powerless. You let one text from her dictate the course of your entire day. That is not love. That is a form of emotional slavery, and no man who respects himself should live that way. So let me ask you this, right now, with brutal honesty. Who holds the keys to your emotional state? Is it you, or is it still her? The ancient Stoics understood that clinging to what we cannot control is the root of all our suffering. You cannot control her choices, her feelings, or her presence in your life. The only thing you can ever truly control is your response. This video is not just about moving on from a woman. It's about becoming the kind of man who cannot be broken by loss. Today, we will walk you through the 7 Stoic lessons that will not just heal you, but will rebuild you from the ground up, stronger than you were before. Losing her won't destroy you. In fact, it might be the very thing that finally sets you free. Lesson number 1: love is not enough. Men grow up hearing a persistent and dangerous lie. It's a fantasy sold to us in movies, in music, and in every fairy tale we've ever heard. And that lie is that love conquers all. We are taught to believe that as long as your love is strong enough, pure enough, and dedicated enough, the relationship will survive any storm. But here is the cold, hard truth that a Stoic man must accept: love alone does not guarantee anything. You can love a woman with your entire soul, and she can still walk away from you. You can sacrifice your time. You can stay loyal through her darkest moments. You can pour every ounce of your affection into her, and she can still wake up one morning and choose someone else. Why? Because a lasting relationship is not built on the single, unstable pillar of emotion. It is built on a foundation of several, much stronger pillars: mutual respect, genuine compatibility, and sustained attraction. A woman can love you, but not respect you. She can love you, but still find you weak or directionless. She can love you, but feel bored or uninspired by your presence. And when the pillar of respect is gone, the entire structure of love will inevitably collapse. This is why Stoicism teaches us not to anchor our happiness to feelings we cannot control. Love is a powerful, beautiful emotion, but it is still just that, an emotion, and emotions are, by their very nature, unstable. They are like the weather. They can be sunny one day and stormy the next. So I want you to ask yourself this, and be brutally honest. How much of your past relationship was built on the stable ground of mutual respect and compatibility, versus how much was built on the shifting sands of just feeling in love? Your only strategy cannot be, "I love her, therefore she will stay." That is the strategy of a child. Instead, you must focus on becoming a man who doesn't rely solely on love to keep someone around. You must become the kind of man who is respected because of his strength, his independence, and his vision. You must build a life so compelling that her love is a cherished bonus, not the foundation of your entire existence. Your foundation must be your own character, your own mission, and your own unwavering ability to stand strong, even when she isn't there. Love is never enough. Respect and self-mastery must always come first. Lesson number 2: attachment is your enemy. The biggest and most dangerous trap that men fall into after loving a woman is attachment. And you must understand the critical difference between these two things. Love is natural. Attachment is dangerous. Love is an expansive feeling. It says, "I care deeply about your happiness and well-being." Attachment is a contracting, fearful feeling. It says, "I cannot live without you. My happiness depends on you." The second you start to believe you cannot live without someone, you have willingly handed over your freedom. You have chained your happiness to her moods, to her choices, and to her very presence in your life. That is not strength. That is not devotion. That is weakness, and it is the root of your suffering. The Stoics were very clear about this centuries ago. Suffering comes not from external events themselves, but from our attachment to those events. A breakup does not hurt you simply because she left. It hurts because you are refusing to let go of the mental image of the life you had built around her. You are clinging to a ghost, to a past that no longer exists. You are holding onto a rope that is cutting into your hands, but still refusing to release it, because the fear of falling feels worse than the pain of holding on. When you think about her, is your primary feeling one of warm care for her as a person, or is it a cold, fearful anxiety about your own life now that she is gone? Your honest answer reveals whether you are feeling love or just the pain of a broken attachment. Attachment also creates fear. You become scared she'll leave, scared she'll lose interest, scared you'll never find anyone else. And that constant fear makes you act in ways that are needy, insecure, and desperate. Ironically, those are the very behaviors that kill attraction and push a woman away. When you are attached, you lose all perspective. You ignore red flags. You accept disrespect. You tolerate things that crush your dignity, all because you are terrified of the emptiness of being alone. But here is the reality. No matter how tightly you cling, people can still walk away. True detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop letting your happiness and your sense of self depend on another person's choices. It's the ability to love fully, but remain internally free. When you can detach, you can enjoy what you have while it lasts, without collapsing when it inevitably ends. That is real power. Lesson number 3, she was never yours. This is one of the hardest pills for a man to swallow, especially after investing years of his life into a relationship. But you must accept this truth if you ever want to be free. She was never really yours. Not in the way you think. You do not own her time, her loyalty, or her love. At best, you are granted the privilege of borrowing them for as long as she chooses to give them. So many men operate under a false sense of ownership. They believe that because they have invested their time, sacrificed their money, or given their entire heart to a woman, that it means she is theirs forever. They see the relationship as a transaction, an investment that should yield a permanent return. But people are not possessions. She belongs only to herself. The moment her feelings change, the moment her priorities shift, she can walk away, and you can't do a single thing about it. That is not a betrayal of your ownership. That is simply the reality of human free will. Think about it. Do you find yourself replaying the past, creating a mental ledger of everything you gave her and everything she took from you? Is this mindset helping you heal, or is it just keeping you trapped in a story of injustice? Every time she smiled at you, every time she chose to be with you, it was a choice, not a debt. She did not owe you that. And if she stops choosing you tomorrow, it's not because she stole something from you. It's because she is exercising the same freedom she has always had. At first, internalizing this truth can sting. It hurts the ego. But once you fully accept it, it is the most liberating feeling in the world. When you realize she was never yours to control in the first place, you stop obsessing over why she left. You stop asking that painful, useless question. How could she do this to me after everything I gave? That question is rooted in a false sense of ownership. Instead, you begin to accept that her choices are her own. And your strength lies not in trying to control her, but in mastering your response to her choices. Once you embrace this mindset, you stop clinging. You stop chasing. You start living like a man who understands that nothing and no one external is ever guaranteed. And that is the moment you finally become free. Lesson number 4: control what you can, ignore what you can't. Most men waste months, even years, of their lives fighting battles they can never win. This is the absolute core of the Stoic philosophy, the one principle that, if you truly understand it, can eliminate most of your suffering overnight. It is the dichotomy of control. You cannot control if she stops loving you. You cannot control if she meets someone else. You cannot control if she wakes up one morning and decides she is done. Yet, so many men drive themselves into madness trying to change what is fundamentally outside of their power. The Stoics had a simple but profound rule. Focus only on what is within your control. And here is the reality of your situation. You can control your mindset. You can control your actions. You can control your discipline. You can control your personal growth. That's it. Everything else, especially her feelings and choices, is out of your hands. But what do most men do after a breakup? They stalk her social media, desperately hoping to decode her every move. They replay every past conversation, torturing themselves with what they could have said differently. They beg, they plead, they bargain, thinking that if they just perform the right ritual, she will come back. All of that energy is completely wasted because it is focused on things they absolutely cannot control. If you found this lesson valuable, please take a moment to hit the like button and share this video with a friend who is stuck focusing on things they can't control. And if you are committed to this path, make sure you are subscribed. The moment you shift your focus inward, from what she is doing to what you are doing, everything changes. You stop asking the weak question, why did she leave me? And you start asking the powerful question, how do I rebuild myself to be stronger than before? You stop worrying about her new life, and you start architecting your own. Freedom begins the second you accept this truth. She is outside of your control, but you are not. Your growth, your strength, your next chapter that belongs entirely to you. That is where your true power lies, and that is the only place your energy should ever be. Lesson number 5: pain is a teacher, not a prison. Too many men treat the heartbreak of a breakup like a death sentence. They allow it to become their identity. They sit in their rooms for months, replaying memories, drowning themselves in self-pity, and acting as if their life ended the moment she walked out the door. Let me be real with you. That's weakness. Pain is not meant to paralyze you. It is meant to wake you up. If you are still broken months, or even years after she left, it is not because of the power she had over you. It is because you are refusing to learn the lesson the pain is trying to teach you. Pain is information. It is a spotlight, exposing the cracks in your own foundation. It shows you exactly where you were too dependent, where you were too careless with your own boundaries, or where you were too blind to reality. It exposes your weaknesses so that you have the opportunity to fix them. But instead of facing that difficult truth, most men just complain, blame the woman, or grow bitter at the world. That is not growth. That is self-destruction. So I want you to ask yourself this right now. No matter how much it hurts, what is the one most difficult lesson your current pain is trying to teach you about yourself? You have to understand this. Suffering in life is unavoidable, but staying stuck in that suffering is a choice. Every single man who has ever become truly strong, truly resilient, was shaped by the fire of pain. The ancient Stoics didn't run from suffering, they used it as fuel. They understood that what hurts you can also harden you if you let it. So, if you are hurting right now, stop asking the victim's question, why me? Start asking the victor's question, what is this trying to teach me? Did you lose yourself in her? Did you neglect your own mission? Did you forget that your happiness should never be outsourced to another person? Learn the lesson, and the pain will begin to fade. Ignore the lesson, and you are doomed to repeat the same suffering with the next woman and the one after that. Wake up. Pain is not your prison. It is your professor, and only the men who are willing to learn from it will ever become truly unbreakable. Lesson number 6: rejection is redirection. Most men treat rejection like it is the end of the world. She says, I don't want you anymore, and suddenly they act as if their entire life has collapsed. Their self-worth shatters. Their future seems bleak. But here is a powerful Stoic truth you must internalize: rejection is not the end. It is a redirection. It is the universe, or life, or God, whatever you believe in, forcibly pulling you away from a path that was not meant for you, and pushing you toward a path that will actually build you into the man you are supposed to become. Think about it. How many times have you looked back at a person or a situation you thought you couldn't live without, only to realize years later that losing them was the best thing that ever happened to you? At the time, the pain feels unbearable, but with the clarity of hindsight, you see the truth. You dodged a bullet. The problem is, most men don't have the patience or the perspective to see this in the moment. Instead of moving forward into their new, better future, they stay fixated on the closed door behind them. They beg, they cry, they chase. They humiliate themselves trying to force open a door that is meant to stay shut. That isn't a sign of love. That is a sign of desperation. And desperation kills all self-respect. Looking back at a past rejection in your life, a job, a relationship, anything, can you now see how that event, as painful as it was, redirected you to something better in the long run? Rejection is life's way of saving you from wasting more of your precious time on someone who does not see your value or align with your path. It is not a judgment on your worth. The universe is not punishing you. It is protecting you. It is a sign that your growth, your mission, and your ultimate happiness lies somewhere else. The sooner you can accept that, the sooner you will stop suffering. So from now on, I want you to reframe this. Rejection is not a reflection of your value. It is a reflection of your alignment. And when a door closes, it is not a punishment, it is a direction. It is a sign pointing you toward a better path. Rejection does not break you, it repositions you. But only if you are wise enough to see the sign for what it is. Lesson number 7: build yourself, not her image. This is the final lesson, and it is the most important one for your future. Too many men waste their best, most vital years building a woman's image in their mind. Instead of building themselves in the real world, you put her on a pedestal. You make her your motivation, your obsession, your entire reason for waking up in the morning, and then you are completely shattered when she leaves. Brother, that is not love. That is self-abandonment. A woman should never, ever be your mission. She can be a wonderful, cherished part of your journey. She can be your greatest teammate. But the moment she becomes your whole purpose for existing, you have already lost yourself. That is why so many men feel completely empty and directionless after a breakup. It is because they built their entire identity around someone else, instead of on the solid foundation of their own growth and purpose. Here is the truth. Women are instinctively drawn to men who have vision, discipline, and a life they are proud of on their own. They are not attracted to men who orbit around them like lost satellites, seeking all their light from them. So, I want you to ask yourself this final, critical question. If you removed the relationship from your life entirely, what solid foundation of your own mission, your own goals, and your own identity would be left standing? When you shift your focus to building yourself, your body, your finances, your skills, your mindset, you don't just become harder to replace. You also stop fearing loss. Why? Because you know that your value is inherent. It is not tied to her presence or her approval. It is tied to the man you see in the mirror every morning. Stop chasing her. Stop living for her approval. Start building the man you want to be. When you do that, you don't just recover from heartbreak. You elevate beyond it. She may come, she may go, but you will remain unshaken. Because your foundation is you, not her. Build yourself first. Everything else, including the right woman, will naturally follow. Here is the one truth that no one wants to say out loud. Most men don't struggle because women are complicated. Most men struggle because they refuse to build themselves into the men they are capable of being. You keep blaming her for leaving, when in reality, her absence just exposed the cracks that were already in your foundation. And that leads us to the final, most important lesson of all. If a woman leaving you shatters your entire world, it's not a sign of how much you loved her. It is a sign that you have neglected to build a world of your own. Your pain is not a prison. It is a professor. It is here to teach you. This is not about hating women. It's about taking radical responsibility for your own life and understanding that no woman should ever be the center of your existence. Love her, yes. Care for her, yes. But never ever lose yourself in her. Because the second you do, you've already lost. So, now I want to hear from you. After hearing these 7 lessons, what is the first thing you are going to do to start rebuilding your own foundation? Share your commitment in the comments. Your story can be the spark that helps another man start his own journey. If this guide gave you a new perspective on your pain, hit the like button and share this video with a friend or a brother who is going through this fire and needs a map to get out. And to continue forging yourself into an unbreakable man, subscribe to the Stoic Manhood Guide. In our next video, we will discuss the one daily habit that builds unshakable confidence from the inside out. This has been the Stoic Manhood Guide. Remember, she didn't break you. She revealed where you need to become unbreakable.